Hello boys, it's me, Clean Armpit Amelia here. So this is not your typical Hammerden. Although from face value, it looks like your typical Hammerden, doesn't it? Does it not? You got the Shaco, you got the nice plate, you got the Archon plate, you got the, Hodo, I guess. You got your Zakarum shield. Well, let me show you one of the most unique builds I've come up with lately. So, main attack is going to be Conversion, and our main caster is going to be Hydra. So, this is a HYDRA. Now, with the hydrogen, we've got we've got a lot of spear points. So what I wanted to do instead is to focus towards amping up as much damage off the Hydra, because the whole aspect of it is I wanted the Hydra to be the main damage source, and everything else is just going to support that. There is tons of spear points. Perhaps in the future I might do like a proper hybrid or something, but in reality, you could really just kind of put Hydra in with any other build, and I thought, well, I could make a Zeal, I could put all my spear points into Zeal, I could put my spear points into Hammerden, I could do this, I could do, make a Foden with Hydras, but I wanted to focus as much damage on Hydras first. Potentially in the future I might do a hybrid stuff, so that's just to clarify for you boys. So, let's get right into it. Stat, skills, gear, whatever. See what Higgly Hydrogen Man is doing over there. So, stats. We've got 87 Paladin. Strength is a bit higher because we need that to wear our shield. So, base is 71, and we've got Enigma, which is bumping us up. Dexterity, we've got 130. I've got a little bit higher in there just for some attack creating for conversion, which I'll get to. Vitality is kind of all of our rest, right? So, that's bumping us to 1468. Resistances are pretty good. I don't have my shield socketed, so that's an opportunity to get some more resistances there as well. So, notable points. 162 Magic Find is not too bad. I don't think I have my War Traps on, which I've been meaning to chuck on actually, so I'll do that quickly. But we're passing the 75 FCR breakpoint, which is important. It's a bit too difficult for us to kind of go to the next one, because we're not running Spirit, we're using a special shield, which I'll get to. We have 15 fire skills down there. So bear with me a second, boys. I'm going to swap my War Traps out. Quickly. So, skills. Our main skill we're using Hydra, which we are getting from Dragon Scale. Okay, so that's an O skill. So, we're using everything to bump up that, and we're covering other pieces to kind of amp up that damage. So, most importantly is going to be Conviction. Now, with Conviction, I decided to max out that whole thing, so we want to get as much as we can. And then I decided, instead of going like an Infinity Mercenary, which would only give us like minus 85, resist all to like monsters at like level 12 Conviction, I think Infinity is. I'm like, fuck it, we'll just go Conviction here. But one thing to note when using Conviction on this build in particular is we can't actually cast Hydras on left click, on left bind. So that means that when we're actually casting Hydras here, our Conviction is not active. So we need to cast the Hydras, wait for us to switch back to Conviction, and for that to reapply, then they're going to be doing more damage once they're cast out, if that makes sense. So that's it's a little inconvenience, but I didn't find it too annoying. Combat skills, we've just got handy stuff here. So I have charge to move around if I want to. I decided to max out Holy Shield because we have spear points. But I decided to max out Conversion. Now, you don't have to max this out. It does have diminishing returns, but I wanted to for spear points. So Conversion, this is like you could kind of look at it as like a Mind Blast for an assassin. And that's kind of how we use it. So you can really confuse a bunch of mobs. I kind of teleport in with my Enigma. I'd smack a few dudes, single target of course, and then they would be confused. And they are, duration is 16 seconds at level 36, which is amazing. So as you're hopping about, I would kind of confuse some of the more irrelevant mobs of the pack to focus on like an elite pack. Because if you're like farming or kind of zipping about, you don't want to confuse mobs that you want to kill that are worth like getting drops from per se, like maybe ghosts for runes or what have you, because else you'd be sitting there for 16 seconds waiting for your confused to finish, because they're counted as allies, really, when they are confused. But chance to convert is 84%. That's why we're focusing a little bit more on attack rating. So, offensive auras we covered there, and defensive is just our leftover points, so I decided to go 1 point down into vigor just to run around town and whatnot, and then the rest into defiance just for some more safety, because I thought we are still going to be running in there as a caster and hitting with conversion, so that was my excuse to kind of bump out there. Now, Mercenary. So I mentioned I'm not covering, we're not using an Infinity Mercenary, since we're going Conviction. This is going to be a way stronger Conviction if we have it. I opted for more crowd control. Now, one thing about this build is we can't really do too much damage to enemies that are in a big group, because our Hydras don't actually pierce or anything. So I thought, well, instead of getting like a Reaper's Toll Mercenary or something like that, I went with a Lawbringer on the Act 5 Mercenary. So this is the main weapon that you'd want, and it kind of opens up options to kind of chuck in as the supporting sword. So on this side I have a Voice of Reason. So I went with this just to have a bit more AoE to slow, and it's quite handy. It gives him cannot be frozen, and that frees up a socket slot on the G-face, which we have here. So I put in an extra 40 ED, and that, you know, adds up with the 300 ED, which is added from the Fortitude here. Because bear in mind, both of these, they actually don't have ED. Realize mine has 8 ED base on that one. You know, nice flex, I suppose. But he still gets enough damage bonus from these two. And also the Crushing Blow as well, just from the one, even if he had completely, you know, nothing here. It's still reliable. So you could even go for the other Act 5 Mercenary too. Now, that is about it. On Switch, I do have the Demon Limb instead, which is, you know, a bit of a weird one, but it's a bit of a hybrid caster, and we are hitting on some dudes, so we do want a little bit higher attack rating. So, I don't have too much though, you know, average chance to hit Diablo is 60, but the thing is, we can't confuse the higher level mobs, boys. So we can't confuse Diablo, we can't confuse like elites or champion packs, but that doesn't matter. We don't want to confuse them. So we're going to have the highest attack rating with conversion against other smaller mobs, which is exactly what we want to convert. The easier, weaker ones we don't give a fuck about, that are going to distract everyone else, and then we can just Hydra the shit out of all the boys. Easy peasy. So now I got War Travs on, switch back here, we can see Magic Finder's at 211, and we definitely can stack more with Charms. So this is quite cool. Let's get into it, boys. Conversion damage is 746. And just before we hop in here, Hydra is only 220 by 250. Let's go, boys. Eh? This is the type of weird shit that you want to see, isn't it? Alright, let's start Frigid Highlands. You know, now that I think about it, I can't even remember the last video I actually had my CTA. I can't remember. I fucking forgot. So you can only have 6 Hydras out at a time now. They have limited it, but it's not too much of a, you know, it's not too much of a nerf, really. Like, I mean, before 2.4, there wasn't a cap on it, so you could use like Dragon and you could cast out a whole bunch of them. But, you know, let's admit, boys, Hydra back then was trash, really is. So I don't mind having 6 Hydras that can actually do some damage, you know. So having 6 of these out that are shooting out fireballs with Conviction. Conviction and minus res doesn't actually show on the sheet damage here. And like per second, they're going to be shooting fireballs, right? So 221, each of them's going to be pumping out. It does a lot more damage than it shows on the sheet damage. And one great way I want to actually show you guys how strong it is, I want to show you against Mephisto. Is that an abrupt soundtrack change? Because we went to Endurance of Hate level 2. Slightly strange. Okay. Are these guys immune to fire? No, they're not. Slight hard time for the Mercenary here, but let's pump it out. So now we can start to run in and confuse a couple of boys. So teleport here, teleport, and also with Enigma, it's great. You can teleport to this target over here with your Mercenary, and you could have your Hydras somewhere else. so they don't follow you around. So it's nice to have minions that you can kind of teleport and cover 2 areas of the room if enemies are split. You know what? I'll take that. Take that Cornetto. What do we got over here? The Sanctuary Aura is really nice because we don't really give a fuck about having mobs together because we can't do any damage in like AoE. We don't have a sort of Pierce. We don't have Meteor. We're not running like Foden or anything. So we'll just make it safe as fuck, boys. Sounds good. See this little boy? Oh, well, he's dead now. So let's pump out all 6 of these Hydras. Let Conviction proc back up again. And he's got his Decrepify out. Make sure we're recasting Hydras too. Not too bad, if I say so myself. Not too bad. There we are. Swap those dudes out. And the little mobs that we confuse, we don't need to worry about them. Nice and easy, right? It is only fire damage that we're putting out from Hydras, so you know some areas are a little bit difficult, you know. Let's go to, what is a good place to go to? I suppose in just out of town now in Act 2 we can actually go to Stony Tomb, which is not too bad for fire immunes. So let's teleport over there and see if we can get some good coverage. I don't know what is up with these loading screens today, I apologize. Maybe it would have been a better idea to go straight to town first. Now that I think about it. If you're making something like this, I definitely recommend going for that 75 FCR breakpoint. Any less than that is a little bit annoying. Running Hydras, it is kinda... you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go to town. You know, running Hydras, it feels quite similar to placing and running traps with an assassin. So you could place them, kind of run away and teleport away, and they're still gonna be there. But the speed that you kind of lay them out is really quite important. So if you're jumping right here, and you want to do that damage as fast as possible, you need to kind of cast them out at a high speed. Stony Tomb, please. Now I think about it, I haven't actually run Stony Tomb yet, so hopefully I do find it. I hope everyone had a good Easter. I mean, mine was just doing testing and stuff, so obviously superb. Had an absolutely superb Easter. It's basically free chocolate holiday, isn't it? And if you're wondering what that effect is on top of mobs, that is from the Act 5 Mercenary. Along with Iron Skin, he does have Taunt, which is quite nice. So that increases... well, that minuses enemy attack rating and also their damage too. So it makes it even safer against, you know, single targets. The main con of this build is for sure its lack of AoE, but for like single, like small to medium-sized groups and single target, it's not too bad. That's where it performs definitely better. A stronger Mercenary would definitely perform better as well. I would recommend something with like Crushing Blow would be good. One thing I kind of wanted to do was make a Kingslayer, which does have some more Crushing Blow and shit, I think, and like Deadly Strike. So then we'd have the Cham and the G-Face instead. But I didn't have the spare runes just at the moment. Or even a grief, boys. Even a little grief on your Mercenary wouldn't be a bad idea. Not the best density today. You just need to make sure that you are recasting your Hydras, because when you're placing them out, they have a duration of 6 seconds. That is about it, boys. I know some people are going to probably think this is fucking stupid and retarded, but some people are probably going to like it, so this is for those who do, I guess. I really enjoyed this one. It was really cool. I love the pace of it. I love the switch up of... It feels like a... it kind of feels like a teleporting, like, traps in. That's the type of style it's similar to, so it was quite refreshing to try this. So, again, you're kind of running like typical caster gear, but instead the main piece we're going to need here is the Dragon Scale, which gives us plus 10 to Hydra and also fire skill damage. So there is opportunity to get more fire skills. If we had Flickering Flame, boys, this you can bet your left nut I'd be putting it here. So there is opportunity to get more stuff. But let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more out-of-the-box stuff like this, let me know. Let me know, because I appreciate your input. Love you, boys.